One day, Grandpa gave me a letter, and he told me never to open that letter unless one day I was crushed by life, my soul drained, and I had a longing for more. Well, years later, while working for JoJa Corporation, it happened. I think it started when I moved to data entry, and they terminated my friend, and I watched another become addicted to pills. Of course, it could also be the fact that every time I walk to my cubicle, under the gaze of the corporate eye, I pass a skeleton, which daily makes me reflect on my own mortality. The day had finally come, and I had decided to read the letter from Grandpa. Apparently, Grandpa had, too, lost sight of what mattered most in life and moved to Nerdboy Farms. In the letter was the deed to his most precious gift, Nerdboy Farm, located in Stardew Valley, and a chance at a new life. So I did what anyone would do. Without thought, I quit my job, packed my bags, hopped on a bus, and headed to Stardew Valley. When I arrived, I was met by Robin, the local carpenter. Apparently, she was waiting for me while Mayor Lewis, who's still alive, apparently, was getting the old house ready for my arrival. I followed Robin to the farm. When I first entered the farm, I was a bit shocked at the condition and a bit concerned that perhaps I had taken on more than I could handle. I mean, what did I know of farming? Robin reassured me that while it was a bit overgrown, that there was some good soil waiting. This was going to be my new home. Lewis, having finished tidying up the cottage, introduced himself as the mayor of Pelican Town. News had seemingly made its way around town that a new farmer had arrived. Apparently, Pelican Town does not get many new residents. Clearly, no one has worked this farm for some time. Is that what I am now, a farmer? It may take some time getting used to the sound of that one. While the concept of changing my entire life to be a farmer is certainly fearful, but being able to live in my grandpa's cottage and follow in his shoe is a reward on its own. Robin, perhaps trying to be funny, took the opportunity to make fun of this old cottage. Mayor Lewis was not pleased at the joke, made a retort of his own, which Robin didn't seem to appreciate. Perhaps I'll need to visit Robin's house in the future and see what work she can do around the old farm. The mayor suggested I get some rest, and tomorrow I should visit with some of the residents of Pelican Town. Many are apparently excited to meet the newcomer. Before Lewis left the farm, he did mention that he runs a nighttime service where he picks up items that are placed in the bin and sells them for you. Seems like a pretty handy service that I plan to utilize as often as possible. Anyway, with that, I took the rest of the night to finish unpacking, as tomorrow we'll get to work. With the sound of a nearby rooster, which I did not see the day before, I awakened, 6 a.m., ready to live the life of a farmer. The cottage is rather meager at the moment, just a TV, a plant, table, chair, fireplace, a rug, and a bed. Mayor Lewis was nice enough to leave me a housewarming present, 15 turnip seeds. What a great start. Now it was time to get to work and to start clearing an area to get these seeds in the ground and begin my new life as a farmer. For the next couple of hours, I began clearing weeds, hitting rocks, cutting down trees, and breaking branches. I gathered whatever I could as I went. With each swing, I felt stronger and yet would feel my energy drain ever so much. While this was hard work, it certainly did, for the time being at least, beat the daily grime I was accustomed to at JoJa Corporation. Once I cleared a small area, I began to work the soil. We will see if it's as fertile as Robin suggested, or even if I know what to do. I worked the ground and planted the parsnip. I may not be an expert farmer, but I do know plants and seeds need water, so with my handy watering can, I got to work. This all seemed pretty relaxing, I have to admit. Seeing as how I collected a pretty good amount of things, I thought it might be smart to craft a chest, so I went to work getting some more wood. I decided to place my first chest next to the porch. Place all of my collected items in it and paint it orange. This will be a great place to store some resources, and it only took 50 wood. I went back to clearing the farm a bit more, but feeling a little low on energy, I thought I would take Mayor Lewis's advice and head into town and perhaps meet some of the people and make some new friends. As I left the farm, I saw a dandelion that looked good for picking. Then I entered Pelican Town. There seemed to be a few people milling around. Normally I am a bit shy, but I took a breath and met my first resident, Harvey, a local doctor. As I walked into the town center, I saw a very pretty girl and decided to approach. If this is going to be my new life, then perhaps I can meet someone special too. After meeting Penny, I decided perhaps she would like a flower, and all I had was the dandelion, so I thought I would take a chance. Penny seemed to like it. Hopefully I can get to know Penny further. Not to be too intrusive, I figured I would move along and introduce myself to Alex. After he entered what I assumed is his home, while it may be odd, I quickly did search of the nearby trash can. You know what they say, another man's trash is another man's treasure. Unfortunately, when I went to look inside the Stardrop's Saloon's trash can, Evelyn spotted me. Not a great way to make a first impression. A little embarrassed, I quickly walked away and stopped at the announcement and job board. The calendar has the residents' birthdays and various events, and I'll have to keep an eye on this board so I don't miss anything exciting. As I made my way to the river, there, standing on the bridge, was Abigail, another pretty resident of Stardew Valley who was watching the river flow by. As I crossed the river, there stood JoJa Mart. I thought I had fully gotten away from them when I left my job and home, but alas, their market stood before me. I have no interest in their store and will ignore it for now. I continued to follow the river, crossing back over the bridge and heading south out of town, and in front of me, the beach and ocean. In the sand, I noticed what appeared to be some wiggling worms. It was just calling out to me, so I got out my hoe and hit them, and to my surprise, got some clay in return. I wonder how many more wiggling worms there may be. I strolled the beach, put my feet in the water, and listened to the waves crash. Pelican Town seems pretty great. The farm, the town, a beach. I want to know what more this place has, so I figured with the depleted energy would be a good time to explore. I crossed by the cemetery, headed down the path. I again saw a few more trash cans and decided to take a look. Wouldn't you know, the first trash can had a barely open field snack bar. Now this could come in handy. Another man's trash is another man's field snack. As I continued along the path, I came across a pair of cows, and I stopped to watch the cows. I couldn't help but wonder if someday I too could have cows and other ranch animals. I just figured I would be a farmer this whole time, but I could always be a rancher. Onward I went, picking dandelions at the edge of the lake. Another resident was out taking pictures. I introduced myself, but she seemed preoccupied with her camera to pay much attention, so I figured I would leave her alone. Down the lake's edge, I continued to explore, occasionally stopping to cut some weeds. I eventually discovered an abandoned house, and just outside was some wild horseradish and another dandelion. With my hands full of items and energy low, I figured now was as good a time as any to eat that field snack, and it was not bad considering I found it in the trash. The field snack gave me a little burst of energy, and with that I continued to explore, grabbing anything I could find that could possibly be sold or used at a later time. After a nice walk, I decided to head north until I appear to have made a whole loop and found the south end of my farm, which was in just as bad shape as the north end. I couldn't help wonder, how big was this farm? I found a path and walked around clearing some more weeds and brush when I found some more seeds. With that in mind, I continued trying to clear more weeds and find more seeds. Towards the cottage, I found a small opening that led to a dark cave. I wonder what I can do with this space. The sun was getting low, and I took my few extra seeds I had gathered and planted them, watered them. I really wonder what this will grow into. Since it was getting late, I certainly did not want to miss Mayor Lewis's bin pickup, so I tossed a couple extra items away and decided to keep at least one of everything, as you never know when it may come in handy. After putting away the items I had gathered, and any unique items I had, I realized I still had some energy left and went back to work clearing the farm, cutting trees, breaking rocks, whacking weeds. I have to say, for the first time in a long time, I felt fulfilled and my body was tired as I headed back to the cabin for the night. It's only been one day, but I can see why Grandpa loved this place so much. While there's a lot of work to be done, I think I made the right choice heading to Stardew Valley, moving to Pelican Town, and moving into the farm. Thanks, Grandpa. I hope I can make you proud.